Hey everybody, today we are going to read The Big Move again and answer some comprehension questions about it. So what I want you to do today is to listen to hear about Katie's big move and answer questions about the story. When we're all done, you're going to complete a self-assessment called Where I Would Like to Live. I will show you that as well. Let's go ahead and look at our story to start with, The Big Move. Now we read this yesterday, but we read the advanced version of just text. Today we're going to read the symbol supported version because it's a little bit shorter and it will give us time to talk and do some activities. So the title of this book is The Big Move. It's by Karen Lugers and it's illustrated by Alex Weishart. And there's our character, Katie, who remembers why Katie is happy. Listen and we'll find out. Remember our vocab words, our care center, which is a place to live where there are individual rooms and nursing care is provided. Another word for care center or something like a care center might be a group home or a nursing home or assisted living. Support staff, those are people who are paid to help others in need, like your direct support staff or teaching assistants at Pathways. And a home health aide is a person who helps someone at home with tasks like bathing, getting dressed, taking care of their house, cleaning, and staying organized. Things to learn from this story and things we'll learn as we talk about moving this month is that moving into your own place takes time and planning. When we talk to Derek today, he's going to tell us about how much time and how much planning he had to do in order to move into his own place. And we also need to remember that we might need support staff to help care for ourselves when we live alone. Katie lives in a care center. Nurses and aides help her care for her needs. Katie shares a room with her roommate. They eat in a big dining room. This is Katie's home. So right now, Katie lives in a care center with a lot of other people, and she shares her room with one roommate. Katie has a dream. She wants to live in her own house. A house costs money, and her house needs support staff. What kind of things does Katie need help with? Katie's parents ask if she wants her own house. Katie smiles. Katie's parents and support staff find a house. Katie's dream will come true. Katie's house needs changes. Look at her house up here. Can we guess what kind of changes she needs? That's right. She will need a ramp to get inside the house. She will also need a home health aide. If we remember from yesterday, Katie needs help bathing, getting dressed, and eating. So she will need a home health aide to help her in her house. Now Katie can move in. Katie is happy to have her own bedroom. Remember at the care center, she shared her room with a roommate? She picks things she wants for her bedroom. She picks a paint color. What else did she pick? She picked her own comforter or bedding. Katie is happy in her own home. The move was not easy. A move needs time and a plan. Katie loves her new home. Her dream came true. So remember, it's never too early to think about where to live. And that's what we're all doing right now, is thinking about what we want, what's important to us and makes us happy, and what we need, what kind of help we need to be successful where we're living. And we might live in a house or an apartment. We might live with family. We might live with friends. We might live by ourselves. But right now we are thinking about what we want. And you should talk with your transition team about your dreams. So when we have your IEP, you can talk to me, talk to your parents, talk to your friends, talk to any of your other teachers or helpers, your family support coordinator, about what you think you want so you can explore those things now. All right, we're going to answer a couple comprehension questions about our story. Then we're going to look at an assessment about where you would like to live. I'm going to skip this page. We're going to do a symbol-based assessment here for a little running guy gets out of the way. All right, Katie blank in a care center. What does Katie do in the care center? Does she move to the care center or live in a care center? Think back to the beginning of our story. Katie in a care center. She lives in a care center. At the care center, Katie shares a room with her parakeet. Oh wait, that's not an option. Does she share a room with her house or her roommate? With her roommate. Katie shares a room with her roommate at the care center. Would you like to share your bedroom with another person? That's something to think about when you're thinking about where you'd like to live. Katie's parents and support staff help her find a, do they help her find a change or a house? They help her find a house. And we know that Katie's house will need some changes before she moves. They need to make a ramp so it is accessible so she can get inside, and they need to make a walk-in shower so she's able to bathe in her new house. And last but not least, this is important to remember, a move needs time and a plan. We're going to look over at this where I would like to live assessment quick, because this is one that I sent you as well. It's called Where I Would Like to Live. I would like you to fill this out. When Janae and I make deliveries to your homes, I'm going to pick up the work that you have complete, and this is one thing I'd really like to see. So you write your name, the date, and how old you are. And then there are 5 questions. On each one, you should mark the choice that best fits you. If there's more than one that fits you, go ahead and mark more than one. I'm going to see if I can find my pen here. I'm going to use a red. We're going to draw. And I'm going to answer these questions as we go. Number 1, I would like to live. My choices are in the city. This would be in Sioux Falls. Would be like living in Sioux Falls or downtown Sioux Falls. If you're from a smaller town like Brandon or Colton or Crooks, this wouldn't count as living in the city. So this is if you want to live in Sioux Falls, a bigger city. In the country, that's where I live, and that's where I'd like to live, is in the country. I have neighbors, but they're far away from me and I have a lot of space. Then in the suburbs, this is what I would mark if you live in a small town like Crooks, Hartford, Brandon, Salem, any of those towns you can mark in the suburbs, because it's not really the city, but it's not the country either. Number 2, I would like to live. Would I like to live? Would I rather live on a quiet street where there aren't a lot of cars going by, there's not a lot of traffic or people to wave at or talk to, or on a busy street where there's a lot of action and a lot going on all the time? I would like to live on a quiet street, which is why I live in the country. The number 3, would you like to live in a house, an apartment, a trailer, a condominium, a group home, or somewhere else? And one option for the somewhere else, look at this wonderful handwriting, is in the dorms. If you want to go to college, like some of our classmates do, you might want to live in the dorms. You might want to live somewhere else. If you check out those Brain Pop Junior lessons, they talk about the difference in these living settings. A house is much larger, but it means you have to take care of more bills. You have to take care of your lawn and snow removal. An apartment building is smaller and possibly less expensive. You can have roommates in a house or an apartment. A trailer house is another good option and might be less expensive. A condominium would be a house that you purchase, but it's part of a bigger building that you share. And then a group home. When we talk to Stephanie from Lifescape later this month, we're going to talk about some group living situations. Lifescape has some group homes where up to 12 people live, but most of the houses are much smaller, and it would just be a house where you would have 4 or 5 roommates that you share. So where would you rather live? I'm going to say I would like to live in a house. Someday I might like to live in an apartment so I don't have to shovel snow or mow the lawn, or so my husband Paul doesn't have to do it. Number 4, I would like to live. Now this is about you. When you read through this, think about where you would like to live. Would you like to live alone, all by yourself? Would you like to live with a roommate or more than one roommate? You might want to live with 2 or 3 friends. Would you like to live with a boyfriend or girlfriend, someone that you care a lot about? Would you like to live with a husband or a wife? I live with my husband and I like living with him, so I'm going to mark that I like living with my husband. With my family, I also have my kids living with me, but this would be an option for you. Would you like to live with your family? Would you like to continue living with mom and dad or grandma or whoever you live with that helps take care of you? Would you like to continue living with them or with other relatives? And then you have the option for other. Where else or who else can you think of that you would like to live with? I'm going to say my dog. I want to live with my dog. Put that on there. All right. Last question is right here. We're going to clear all my drawings. The last question, I would like to live. Now, these are definitely important things to consider. Near public transportation. So this means you want to live somewhere that you can get on the city bus or that paratransit or River City run to. And if you want to live in the country, right now, that's not really an option, living near public transportation, unless you live somewhere that Lyft will come pick you up, but that gets to be a little expensive. So that's something important to consider. And if you need to live near public transportation, if you mark this one, you might need to go back up here and change your answer. You might not be able to live in the country if you want to be able to ride the bus. You're probably going to have to live in the city. These are all related to transportation. So if you have a way to get to work, your job, or to get to the grocery store, you don't need to worry about public transportation. But most of you will probably have to use some form of public transportation. So you might want to live close to a grocery store and somewhere near work so you can get there easily. You can also think about living close to your doctor, your bank, your church, the library, if that's somewhere that's important for you to go and visit frequently, near a laundromat if your apartment building or your house doesn't have a way to do laundry, near a park if you enjoy getting out and exploring nature, near your family if you want to live close to family members, or if you would like to be neighbors with your friends. And then there's what other ideas do you have? What would you like to live close to? So your assignment for today is to complete that self-eval, where I would like to live. You have a couple other self-evals that talk about where you want to live as well. And that's because our answers change. The more we think about it, the more things we consider, the more options we have. So I'd like you to fill that out. So when we Zoom on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can share a little bit about what you think you would like to do. And you can think about what you want while you listen to our guest speakers talk about how they made their decision. Thanks for joining me today. We'll talk to you again soon.